starting nonprofits, starting projects, doing a lot of creative placemaking, and I think it's very, very exciting. I want to, before we start, just recognize my staff who helped put on this event. Annabelle Rondon, who is over there, has put together much of the conference logistics, so thank you, Annabelle. And my deputy director, Larry Field, who is over there, has been instrumental in we've just had so much more capacity with these two folks on board over the last year. Been very busy, very exciting. In fact, we were a little, I'm not sure what we were thinking about the timing of this conference, because close to the end of the legislative session, we have about 4 different things going on at the same time that we're working with the legislature on. So I think next year this timing will work out okay. But this is something that we hope to do on an annual basis. There's really 2 things that we're trying to accomplish here. Sort of as a personal rule of thumb, I only like to put on events that I would actually take a day out to attend myself. And I'm really pleased that we have over 45 speakers, 10 different breakout sessions, some wonderful plenary speakers. It's really going to be a fantastic day. So I hope you all enjoy it. And secondly, one thing that the Smart Growth Alliance is very privileged to do, it's a fairly unique organization because we cut across so many different issues and sectors. And I think having a gathering like this with so many of you being leaders in your field, in your issue, but you don't get a chance oftentimes to speak to your colleagues, your kind of expert peers in other issues. So here we have environmentalists, we have housing folks, we have developers, we have planners, we have so many different people, local officials, and it's a great opportunity to be able to network and have cross-cutting conversations. And that's really how we structured the breakout sessions today, around these central questions. So to kick us off, I'd like to introduce Worcester's terrific city manager, Ed Augustus, to come up and say a few words of welcome and tell us what's going on in town. Ed?
Thank you, Andre, and I want to welcome everyone to the city of Worcester, Massachusetts' second largest city. Hopefully, those of you who haven't been here in a while, hopefully you've seen a very different Worcester than you might have seen even 5 or 10 years ago. We have a lot of construction going on, particularly in our downtown area. If you drive around downtown, you see a lot of cranes all over the city. They've become my favorite bird. I like to see cranes all over our city. It's a sign that Worcester and Worcester's economy is moving in the right direction. And I want to just welcome the Smart Growth Alliance Conference to the City of Worcester, and we appreciate all the work that you do, and we're happy to participate in that work. And I want to just touch on a few things that I think we're doing here in Worcester that kind of align with what you all are about. Public transportation encouraging investments in housing economic development that reflect the importance of transit-oriented development. So not far from here, you see the Union Station, which is a true intermodal transportation facility with commuter rail service to Boston, including our new express train that gets you to South Station in just over an hour, and even quicker to the Fenway and Back Bay stops. And I want to just acknowledge somebody you're going to hear from shortly who really is responsible for making that happen, our Lieutenant Governor, Karen Polito. That really is going to be a game changer, not only for the city of Worcester, but for central Massachusetts in providing that express service to Boston. As Boston's housing market becomes ever more expensive, when you have cities like Worcester that have great quality of life and great schools and lots of cultural amenities, but a lot more affordable housing options, whether it be rental or for purchase. I think the city of Worcester and other gateway cities that have that kind of quick, reliable access to the capital city really positions us well to continue the momentum that we're seeing here in the city of Worcester. Next to that is our Worcester Regional Transit Authority hub, providing both inter and intra-city bus service throughout central Massachusetts and New England. And right across the street from that is a $500 million investment that's been made called City Square. And that project includes 370 units of market rate housing right across the street from the transit hub and Union Station. Really luxury housing, doorman, all sorts of amenities, which is a housing option that hasn't previously existed in downtown Worcester, which I think is another indication of the kind of momentum that we're enjoying here in the city. Next to that will be a new AC Marriott hotel, a full-service hotel with a restaurant with outside seating there, again activating that streetscape area there. It's one of 3 brand new hotels going up in the city of Worcester, adding more than 300 hotel rooms to our portfolio, which really is critical to making this building as active as we want it to be. There are a number of conferences and conventions that we can't quite compete for if we don't have enough hotel rooms here in the city of Worcester. And by adding 300 additional hotel rooms to our stock in the city, we're going to be able to compete for larger conferences and conventions here at our DCU Center. There's also the Mercantile Center, which is the remnants. Those of you who were in Worcester 20 or 30 years ago might remember that we had a big, huge mall in the middle of our downtown. And for about 20 years, it worked fine. And then, like a lot of malls, it kind of outlived its usefulness and went through several iterations and then sat empty for a number of years. And the city really decided that we needed to do something bold. And we decided to take down the mall and reconfigure the parcels, some of which are going to be for the uses I just talked about, but others are being kind of reimagined with retail options. So if you go, and I think some of you are going on a walking tour, I don't know if it's this afternoon or tomorrow, and I think you're going to be able to physically see all the things that I'm describing as you walk through the City Square development and the Common. The city's invested close to $8 million in the Common and in the streets and sidewalks and streetscaping around the Common to really set the stage for that public space to be programmed with activities and events that'll help support bringing people, particularly families, to our downtown. During the wintertime, we have a skating rink that we put up there. Last winter, we had over 10,000 folks come and visit that skating rink. The skating surface is actually larger than Rockefeller Center in New York. It's become a great draw. So we have themed skating nights where college students come down and do college skate nights and Disney-themed skate nights. And it really has allowed people to feel like downtown has some options for them that maybe previously didn't exist. And we're doing that in a 4-season way. You'll see some preparations going on in the Common where we're going to rededicate our World War II memorial that the city had to reconfigure when we redesigned the Common. So we're dedicating this Saturday the World War II memorial to the 65 remaining World War II veterans here in the city of Worcester. 24,000 of our citizens left to fight in World War II. We have 65 who are still with us and going to be able to be part of that rededication ceremony. And so that's one of the great things I think about the city of Worcester. We're certainly moving into the future, but we're also embracing our past and acknowledging our past. And that's particularly true with our public park system. Elm Park, which some of you might know, is the first land in the United States put aside for the express purpose of creating a public park. It's a park that was designed by Frederick Law Olmsted, and it's a wonderful jewel in our city. But it's one of only 60 parks in the city of Worcester, 60 parks all over our cities, from small pocket parks in our neighborhoods to much more grand parks like the Green Hill Park that houses our state Vietnam Veterans Memorial, a golf course, and just great amenities for folks. And you sit there at the golf course, there's a beautiful restaurant there, and you look out and you wouldn't know you're in the middle of a very busy city. So it's an incredible jewel that we have. So I think Worcester has historically understood the importance of public space and using that public space not only for recreation and public health, but really for improving the quality of life. So we continue to invest in all of these. And in terms of public health, I do want to acknowledge a real commitment we've made in the city of Worcester to public health. A couple years ago, working with literally hundreds of community partners, we created a community health improvement plan that laid out goals for our community to be the healthiest community in Massachusetts by 2020. And many of those goals incorporate not just the city of Worcester, but we're a regional health department that provides public health services for 6 towns in central Massachusetts. And I'm proud to say that we're the first and only public health department in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to be accredited. So we really are holding ourselves to a very high standard, a high set of expectations. And we see these things as interwoven. What we do in the built environment and our economic development strategy and our public parks and our public health program are inextricably linked, and I know that's something that you all understand and get. And I think it's something that we're doing day in and day out. One last thing I would mention to you is our Recreation Worcester program. It's probably the thing I'm the most proud of here in the city of Worcester. We have 25,000 kids in our Worcester public schools, many of whom come from very challenging economic backgrounds, come from almost 90 different languages are spoken in our Worcester public schools. And so we've provided in our public parks during the summer free recreational opportunities for kids, strategically located in various neighborhoods around the city, where we use those public parks as opportunities for recreational activities for kids, but we also have a curriculum that supports helping provide opportunities to prevent that summer learning loss that so often occurs, particularly in our urban school districts, as well as free lunch and free dinner for the kids. It's from 9 o'clock in the morning till 5:30 in the evening. Really trying to make sure those opportunities exist for kids who otherwise, quite frankly, are subject to a lot of temptations that might be out in some of our neighborhoods. And then we've expanded that to an after-school option. So during those 3 to 6 hours, where we have these great public school facilities, but have previously been locking the doors at 3 o'clock and leaving the kids on the outside, mom and dad aren't home, we've opened those back up in many of our neighborhoods, providing lots of great opportunities for homework help, which supports our academic goals for our young people, closing the achievement gaps, supporting our public health goals in terms of active living, especially for our young people, and working to prevent childhood obesity, so it supports our public health goals, and our public safety goals, keeping kids away from drugs and violence and gang activity. It really is a win-win all the way around. And we do that through the generous support of many of our community partners, and in particular UMass Memorial, who has been a great partner with us on that, at no cost to the taxpayer. All of those recreational opportunities are done through partnerships here in the city of Worcester. So I think it really weaves together all of the important priorities that we have as a city. So I'd urge you, enjoy your walk here in the city. Feel free to spend a lot of money while you're around. Worcester's really kind of created a foodie kind of identity for ourselves. You go down Shrewsbury Street or the Canal District, there are so many different culinary options, and literally every couple of months there are new ones that pop up. So enjoy, explore, come back and tell your friends. Welcome. Thank you.